The other main identification feature we use in the winter months, other than the bark of the trunk, is the arrangement of the buds on the stem. Now we can also use this at other times of the year to confirm identification. There are three main styles of arrangement on a stem. These are alternate, where the buds lie alternately on the stem, one, then you move along, then the other. Opposite, where two buds will lie opposite each other on the stem, and other. Now most of the structures fall into the alternate group, so if you have one that is different, this can aid identification, but there are quite a few varieties here. Now we come to F, foliage, flowers and fruits. Foliage, the leaves of the tree, are the main identification feature we use. The flowers and the fruits are there for additional information and to confirm our identification. When it comes to foliage, there is an almost infinite variety of leaf shapes, yet using a process of elimination we can get them into subgroups and therefore send us in the right direction towards our positive identification. These main subgroups are shown here. We begin with simple entire. A simple leaf is the leaf that you'll probably be most familiar with. It's here. This is a traditional leaf shape without any edges to the margins of the leaf. They are smooth. They are closely followed by the largest group, a subgroup of leaves that we have, which is the simple toothed. Again, it's a very simple leaf shape, yet the edges are the main distinguishing feature that we use. They will be serrated or toothed. The third group are the lobed or palmate leaves. There are two distinctions here. Lobed are the edges of the leaf are lobed and a distinctive shape of lobes, whereas a palmate leaf develops from the centre to the outer edges, generally in 5 points, like a palm of a hand. So we can distinguish between the lobed, which is more similar to the simple leaves, and the palmate leaf. Fourth is a compound leaf. This is composed of single leaflets, often confused as individual leaves themselves. You'll be able to distinguish that it is a single leaf because it will be attached to the stem at one bud and then develop leaf shapes along a main stalk. Finally, we have the needle-shaped leaves. These are almost exclusively held by the coniferous family of trees and fall into two main groups of needle-like structures in the pines and the spruces and so on, and scale-like structures in the spruces and so on. So there you go, these are the main 5 groups that we use, and out of those 5 groups you have to go into an even more detailed identification for your final analysis. When it comes to the flowers of a tree, there are 2 distinct groups. Those are flowers with petals and catkins. The distinctions between these flowers are caused by their pollinators. Catkins are wind pollinated, whereas flowers are pollinated by insects and therefore require petals to attract them. There are a vast array of shapes and sizes when it comes to flowers, therefore we only break them into 2 distinct groups: insect pollinated and wind pollinated. The insect pollinated will be colourful, the wind pollinated generally tend to be green or brown. The final supplement we use for positive identification is that of the fruits. This would traditionally be found in late summer to autumn, and we begin with the main subgroup of cones, which are almost exclusively found on conifers. These cones themselves contain the seeds of the tree, and there will be many of them. Secondly, we have the winged fruits. These tend to be on trees which are wind pollinated, and the structures of the seed-bearing capsules tend to utilise the wind for their dispersal. The next three we have are the berries, nuts and succulents. They tend to advertise themselves to animals for their dispersal. Initially we have berries, which tend to be quite small and primarily used by birds for dispersal. Next we have the nuts, for instance the acorn or the beech nuts, which will often fall to the ground, so you will find them on the forest floor. Tend to be rather large seeds and therefore produce a large tree. And finally we have the succulents. These are the fruits you'll be probably most commonly used to, which are apples and the stone fruits, which provide their seed with a succulent outer casing to advertise themselves to animals for their dispersal. So now we return to the original scene of the staff system of identification. You'll probably have gathered already that this will not give you a detailed positive identification of a single species of tree. It must be seen that this is just a system to give you an overview of how to identify trees. Then you will have to refer to other resources for a more detailed information for a precise identification. But using this process, as I say, working from the outer environment up through the trunk and into the foliage and flowers of the tree and so on, I'm hoping that you will have gained an understanding of how a tree relates to its environment and of how you may then find the detailed features required for positive identification. I will be producing a series of identification videos for each individual species, starting with the native species of the English countryside. They will be tagged using the YouTube system with the various acronyms and words that I have used in this presentation today. So if you find a part of your identification, a positive part of the identification, you can put that in a tag, and hopefully that will lead you to the video which will be the final identification of the tree in question. In conclusion, well, I hope you've enjoyed the presentation, and even more, I hope that you will see more of the identification videos in the future as we take it out into the field and the Essex landscape around me. I will be showing you how this system is used out in the environment, in the field, so to speak. But otherwise, I hope that this has stimulated some of your own interest in trees and nature, and hopefully you will share them with me and share the love of trees, which I have. Thank you very much.